Welcome. I always have food in my teeth. So funny. You know what I mean? Welcome. How are you? Yes, welcome. I just feel so touched to be here and hey, oh my goodness. Welcome. How are you guys doing? I just feel very moved to share some love with you guys and see how you all are doing. I feel very inspired and called to just check in and tell me where you're from, if you like. Tell me how you're doing. I just feel like reminding us all that we are precious. We are very precious. We are only precious. We are loved and we are love. And especially when we forget, thank you, yes, back at you. When we forget and even when we are not doing our best and we are not behaving our best and maybe even behaving terribly, horribly, horrifically, nightmarishly. There are people in this world doing beautiful, beautiful, beautiful things, actions from their highest heart and from the fullness of their heart. And there are people who are acting out smallest to the largest horrors. You know, and we're meant to grow and evolve in this life and learn from our mistakes and learn from our wonderful choices and learn from love and learn from everything that happens. And if we're not learning, you know, that's a clue. That's a clue. And there are people who, you know, even though it can be painful, it's painful to get out of denial, you know, just like getting out of Dodge. Change can be, it can be a joy, it can be a rapture, it can be fun and delightful. Look at you! How did you get on here? Oh my goodness. Welcome. Oh, nice to see you. I just was talking about some things and just felt really moved to share some positivity and love and just to remind us all that we're precious and we're beautiful. Yes, I am. I know. I know. You too, though. You as well. Or are you just getting up? It's been a while. Oh, yes. Well, positivity, you know. We have a choice. We have a choice in each and every instant as to who we are and who we choose to be. And there are, you know, this everything that's going on, whatever you believe to be going on, whatever your consciousness allows you to sort of permeate the calcification and the walls and the layers of propaganda and layers of brainwashing that most people are, you know, if you've grown up with the television and radio, you are, and movies, if you go, thank goodness I wasn't allowed to go to movies and didn't go, but everything is filled with brainwashing. So we're all filtering And so in society, social programming, schooling, upbringing, and then generations upon generations, thousands of years of genetic memory, of conditioning to be silent, to be dumbed down and dimmed down and acquiescent, and going along with the flow of oppression, and just to oppress and suppress ourselves, and to be a willing tool of the oppressive people, so that are built in this entire thing that we call society. So this whole thing that the globe is experiencing, people that have been people that have been oppressed for, in this country, a lot of people of color, but it's really anyone. Anybody who's been oppressed for whatever reason, and then the oppressors have been oppressed, because it takes a victim to become an abuser. Abuser person doesn't become abuser unless they learned it somewhere. They were trained consciously or subconsciously. So they're reacting to their own abuse, as well as some people are literally trained throughout their whole childhood and adulthood to be abusers. So we have in our world, and have for thousands of years, very, very well-trained abusers running what they think is the world, and they care nothing for anyone. They don't even especially care for themselves, because you can't hurt other people and care about yourself, right? I mean, that's the oxymoron, the conundrum, it's the myth of power. And I'm just naming that right now. I'm labeling. It's the myth of power. It's the myth of the dominator, is that they're more than, that they, when we have power over people, that somehow that means you are the most powerful. In reality, people that are driven to dominate others are, in fact, and this is not to, belittle them, because they are in this position in themselves. They've chosen this path. They've been driven to it, and it's really, they've driven themselves to a place of just like a runaway train, where they think that they are all powerful and never can be harmed. I'm burping, hiccuping, whatever. They think that they can't be harmed if they're most powerful. And then these people, all these very, very, and these are the most insecure people, because it's only an insecure person that is compelled and driven to harm others, compelled and driven to dominate others, compelled and driven to try to take other people's lives away, power away, freedom away. It only is occurring, that dominator complex, the power complex, the money, obsessive money complex. There are people that are so insecure, they do not trust themselves at all. At all. And therefore they're driven to try, and it is trying because they will never achieve it. And you who are listening to this, you will never, ever, and I say this with all of my heart and soul and more, all the love in eternity, with my eternal being, my heart goes out to you, who is the tyrant, and really to all of us, because we have a piece of this, all of us. We're all infected, unless you grew up in the Amazon somewhere with no abuse, you know. We are all infected with this potential. If we're not acting it out, we all have the potential to be a dominator. So those of you who, because this is to all of us that I'm speaking, because we all have to go inside and touch this place. Touch this dominator within, which is different from discipline. It's different from inspired empowerment. This is a different form of power that I'm talking about. I'm talking about malicious control, malicious oppression of ourselves and or others, and animal people who, you know, kill animals even to eat. I can't say, you know, if you're out in the woods, you know, it's a little different. There's a rapport, there's a sacred relationship in the ancient people who, you know, there was a relationship with the earth, right? There's a relationship with the earth, a relationship with all creatures, and a oneness and a respect for life, and a respect for the responsibility of, you know, people who ate meat. There's a responsibility. It's a sacred act. You know, we had fire keepers and healers and wisdom and, you know, from everybody burgeoning, blossoming from the soul, the gifts that we have. So, you know, sometimes I don't finish a thought for several reasons. Sometimes the thought sort of transcends the point that, you know, I go to another point because I want what I'm saying to be valued and to be respected inside of you, inside of me, inside of all of us, and not to just be a throwaway wisdom that isn't respected. And it's not respecting me it's respecting yourself, respecting oneself, respecting life, respecting truth. And this is what's happening. There's a loss of self-respect because of so much pain people are carrying. And the tragedy, the moral crisis that's happening right now, it's been happening for a very long time, for thousands of years. But the difference right now is the level of control that people have who think that they are in complete power over every single human on the planet. The access of information to people's lives, the control. If you haven't noticed what's happening, well, you know, it must be nice because but it's it's a global thing. It's not like it'll just be some people, Oh, it'll just be them or something. This is all about everyone waking up and us all standing together. Even those who have participated. It's going to take humility to realize where we're wrong, where we're it's going to take grief, understanding our grief, our pain, our loss, where we're longing acceptance. Security and acceptance, it cannot be found in money, and it cannot be found in power. It cannot be found in dominating anyone or anything. Nature, children, parents, ourselves, a society, a country, a globe. The Catholic Church, the Protestant Church, they murdered for 400 years something like 9 million women and some men. Just, and we're suffering from that abuse and that terror. All the centuries, millennia of terror that people witnessed. I'm telling you the secret of what is going on right now. I am telling you the precise secret of what is the cause of humanity's neurosis and psychosis. It is ancient lineage, ancient pattern, living in all of our memories. All of our DNA. And it cannot be eradicated or eliminated without integration through feeling. There is no drug. I'm not a doctor. Go see your doctor. This is just pure entertainment information. My opinion, my experience, I'm speaking from. The pain that people are suffering from, the pain, the loss, grief, we have to feel. It takes courage. It's so scary to dive into that. It's very, very scary. And the people that have the courage to dive into their pain, to dive into their fears, to dive into their sorrow, these are the people who are the healers, the helpers. Doesn't mean we're perfect. Nobody's perfect. That's not what we showed up here for. We all make mistakes, and we have to grow and learn. It's not even what I'm not even talking about that. But there'll be people that will watch this who are still in a tyrannical mindset, an oppressive mindset, because they feel so bad about themselves, they want to judge others, whether it's me or maybe themselves or somebody else, maybe they're doing that. They're people that are paid to be part of these little minions to plant seeds of divisiveness. I don't really get that here, but I know it's out there. And they're part of this fascist money laundering, power mongering trail of tears, of undropped tears, no teardrops, these teardropless souls, soulless you know, zombies, these people who feed off of the sense of power to destroy rather than to create. This is what I'm talking about. And my heart is literally going out to these people. Because I know that those doing the worst harm in the world, are the ones that are suffering so much. And because my heart wants to see life go on for the future generations, and in a beautiful way. And life can only grow. Life can only grow and go on with love and not with oppression. Unless we stop this oppressive, oh, thank you. You're such a gentle and wise spirit. We need more people like you. Thank you for the acknowledgement. That's so beautiful. And I acknowledge you for being able to say that. And it says everything about you, that you're able to see that and feel that and express it. You know, even people that feel things of something, they don't maybe want to acknowledge it. And I'm very moved that you have that ability and care, passion to, I receive it, and I'm grateful. And let's just magnify that. Let's magnify what you're saying to me, and magnify that we can say that to each other. I'm saying it, return it to you and everyone else who's joined us and everyone who will join us, even the people who are most frightened, who will watch this, and the people who are the stalkers and the people who are watching this for malicious purposes, that to remind them especially, and the gentle souls as well, who know they're gentle and yet still feel afraid because the world doesn't respect their gentleness. And so how do we blend? How do we have self-confidence and allow ourselves to be gentle? Because we're so broken. So we either are broken and become dominators and cruel and murderers and destroyers and live to terrorize other people and live to jerk off and have wet dreams and, you know, have sexual arousal or no sexual arousal, just arousal, you know, thirsting for power. There are people who just foam at the mouth at the idea and the experience of hurting other people. It's literally like they love to watch other people in agony in unimaginable ways. So, this whole thing that I'm sharing tonight is to those people, but it's also to all of us that are tapped into our pain and do acknowledge and have a capacity to whatever degree to at least work on processing our pain so that we don't act out cruelly. And if we do for a moment, that we know how to transmute it and recognize and take ownership and accountability. We have to be accountable. If we are forever living in blame, and nobody can really force us to be accountable. It's something, people can point it out, people can try to force us, and of course a lot of times forcing is projection, so people project what they're doing onto other people as a way to bypass. and to avoid their own guilt and their own shame and their own conscience. So there's a lot of people who are in a lot of pain, who don't have a conscience, and they will never be accountable for the horrors they've committed, because it would just be too painful for them. And the reason they commit them is they're just in so much pain. So as a giant neon sign, people that, you know, the more horrible people behave, and you can't hide it, you can't mask it. People that behave this way, they're hidden in, you know, their neighbors, they're in nonprofit organizations, they're in all kinds of things. They like places of power, and they like to look like they're doing something good. And that's where they victimize people as well, and it's how they keep doing it, and they're amongst other people, so they all enable each other, and they all blackmail each other so that the other one can't tell the truth about them. So, and that's a fact, and my heart goes out. My heart goes out to all of you who are doing that, involved in that, and those who know people, and those who have been harmed by this system of abuse that's in the world. Because that's why all of this is going on, and that's why people have power over people. Because the rest don't have, well, nobody that's involved, whether it's the victim or the victimizer, the tyrant or the abused, nobody has the self-esteem to stop this pattern. Until we have the self-esteem, can we stop the pattern? So what did you write? I think a lot of people are very lonely. Well, yes, and that is separate and yet absolutely integral to what I'm talking about. It depends on which lonely people we're talking about. So ultimately, the tyrants that have been destroying the world and harming people, enslaving people, abusing people, sex trafficking people, using all kinds of systems to use their knowledge of systems to try to have power over people. They are deeply lonely. Because if you don't have love, you're lonely. And they might have, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer didn't he have family and children and it seemed like a nice neighbor? I mean, the thing is a sick mind can compartmentalize. And so the abuser is the ultimate lonely person that feels so hurt, so devoid of love, that they just don't want to feel that pain. And so the way they deal with it is to hurt others. I'm telling you right now, what I just said is the most valuable thing, that you need and must understand with the depth of your soul, the depth of your being, on every level of body, mind, soul, spirit, heart. We must understand this, or we're destined to just keep being a victim in a way. It is just going to be amping up for every single person on this planet, whether you live in the Amazon rainforest and the high mountains of Peru. There is no place to go. And you can think that you're part of an elite. No. This thing that's going on right now, nobody is safe. Nobody. Not even the people who are the string pullers, the puppeteers. Not even the puppeteers are safe. They think they are, but they're not. because there's another oppressor. And this is about all of us waking up. All of us waking up. Okay? We all have to come together. And the only way to come together is to wake up inside and come together for ourselves, where we never were before. To come together for ourselves, where we never were before. And atone. Atonement. Atone for ourselves, what we've done to ourselves, and atone to others. You know, which is a whole different ball of wax. And to stand guard. Stand guard to protect ourselves and one another. Because this thing, this ball, this avalanche that's left the building, Elvis has left the building. And this Elvis is not going to heaven. This avalanche is not a heavenly avalanche. Sorry to say, this avalanche that's happening is a very, very deadly avalanche unless we wake up. This isn't a time to live in La La Land. This isn't a time to spiritually bypass. This is not a time to avoid things, avoid anything, avoid yourself. Definitely, you know, everything on the news and media, it's all brainwashing. They may put some pieces of the puzzle. There's some truths that are coming out just today, but then they spin it to make you more afraid. So there are different kinds of fear. There's fear that's there to wake you up, to cleanse and to galvanize you into being alive, which really anything can happen. And then there's fear that is brainwashing you in order to do what some people want you to do. So this is about, and it's tricky because most people are already so deeply brainwashed that it's literally going to take an act of God for some people to wake up, because they don't believe what maliciousness is afoot. And they think that, you know, systems and powers that be have their best interest at heart, which is absolutely not true. You know, nature created us. God created us. Nature is God's creation. Whatever you want to call God, you know, the mystery of creation, creator. We are designed, divinely designed. You know, we are made up of billions of viruses and bacteria. Every single one of us. It's a biological fact, you know. And our bodies, and viruses contributed to making us. Viruses moved our little DNA around like little filing, I call them little filing cabinet people. They helped mutate us into existence. Viruses are not our enemy. Keep your body strong. You know, I'm not a doctor, but I know myself. You know, go find your advice but I'm just sharing my experience. But it is a medical fact that we are filled with viruses, and it's just question. You know, this medical industry that we're in, it's less than 100 years old. Traditional medicine is 10,000s of years old. They're, you know, and the Catholic Protestant Church killed a lot of those people. But that wisdom is still here because in Europe, they didn't kill them everywhere. So, you know, you are precious. Just remember that. You are precious. And you are loved. And you are love. No matter what you've done, no matter what we've done, no matter what horrible thing, tiny thing, little thing, whatever we're ashamed of, no matter what it is, even the worst thing in the world, you're still precious. You're still absolutely 100% precious. And you're still loved. And you are still love itself. There's love in you. There is still love in you. You are love. You are made with love. Our parents aren't perfect. Their parents aren't perfect. Weren't perfect. How many people in this frickin' planet felt loved? Maybe you weren't damaged by your parents. Maybe you were damaged by something you don't even remember. Maybe you were damaged by some vaccines that poisoned you. Yeah, it happens. And changed your personality. I'm talking for real. I've seen videos of nurses dropping babies on their heads because the baby slipped through their hands. For real. So some people are damaged physically. And, you know, we know that when they've done look at people's brains who were murderers and their brains are damaged. I believe everything can be healed. Love heals. I know it does. I know. But we have to be willing. That's the thing. And it feels so shameful to heal when you feel shame about yourself. Well, when you realize that you're precious and that you're love, you can bear it. You can bear the shame. You can. I believe in you. Have courage. Courage means heart. Have heart. Have heart. Have heart. Have courage to face the shame. Even if you can't do it right away. It doesn't matter if it's 50 years later. Say, I'm sorry. But you have to feel it first. Face it. Even if it's just halfway. Even if you're terrified, just say, I'm terrified. I'm terrified. And just keep being present with the feelings. Be courageous. Have love for yourself while you're moving through the pain and the shame and the guilt and even the numbness and the rage. It's okay. Don't hurt anybody. Don't hurt yourself. It's okay just to feel feelings. You don't have to act on anything. Just breathe through it. It's okay. Be. You can let grace. Pray for grace. Grace can transform. But, you know, whatever it is that our soul wants us to learn, you know, some of us, our soul wants us to learn through the courage of, the courage that we have to keep stepping into, like stepping into the center of that spotlight. It's like a spotlight. Just, I don't know why I'm saying it that way. I've never said it that way before, but for some reason, somebody's going to get that message. Stepping into the spotlight. And the spotlight is yours. It's the spotlight of love. It's shining the light on what's hidden and dark. Dark isn't bad, but we use that word, I think, misappropriately, because dark is beautiful. Dark is silent and deep and peaceful. It's before creation. It's the stillness. It's the womb. It's the seed in the ground. It's the beginning before the beginning. It's the nothingness before the anything, the something. So shine the light into the hidden places, the crevices. Okay? Have courage. It's okay to feel. I have more to say, but I'm going to send a special message. I mean, I'm going to have more to say on this, and please send me, go to my website, sarahwestlove.com, and sign up to be on my newsletter list. I'm going to be sending out something free on my newsletter. So sign up there. There's a little form, simple, on my contact list, or on the little, or just DM me. I have to make sure the thing even works on my website, come to think of it. And go over there and purchase some MP3s. They'll be so helpful. And please buy them. Don't steal them from some website. And don't buy them from iTunes. Buy them from my website. I would so appreciate it. sarahwestlove.com. SARAHWESTLOVE.com. So, a special message to men, and really to anybody who is terrified of feeling afraid, terrified of being terrified. Because it's you all, and any of us can be afraid of being afraid. I mean, you know, you gotta be pretty enlightened. But some people have less of a, you know, their zone is really close. Like some people I notice, especially men, but it's also women, because there are a lot of masculine women. And I say that not to diss men, because it has nothing to do with one's genitals and one's XY chromosomes and XX chromosomes, but it's about conditioning, is my point. But it's whoever is most afraid of feeling vulnerable, and sad, and scared. It's you all who are perpetuating this sort of patriarchal, oppressor, dominator systems. It's you all who are driving this nightmare. And I know those of you that are doing that, your income, all this stuff, you think, it's not true, but you think everything you have and all your security and all your sense of power and all your sense of safety is wrapped up in just keeping your vulnerability at bay and keeping your feelings at bay, squashing anything that feels like a weakness. Let me just tell you right now the truth. Your weakness is not your weakness. Your weakness is your fear of your weakness. That's your weakness. Your weakness is your controlling and suppressing what you perceive as your weakness. Okay? So I'm going to go more into this, the next thing, and I'm going to send something out for free. So sign up on my website. Go to my contact page and sign up there. Just fill out on the contact page on sarahwestlove.com and tell your friends to go and I'm going to be doing more stuff through that newsletter rather than this thing. I'm going to be withdrawing. And also just remember, only those who have loving intentions toward me can you sign up. If you have any reason to, there's anything negative, don't sign up. Don't. Just stay away. And no stalkers and no malicious intent, no. It's only for personal reasons can you be on my newsletter. For love and growth and positivity. And not for, nobody being paid for other people to spy on me. And no, you just have to go somewhere else and do that nonsense. I'm sorry that you're doing that. That's a very tragic existence. And I hope that this message may awaken you to choose something different, as in love and growth, and you'll have to go somewhere else to learn, because I'm not going to teach. You're getting this, but I'm not going to teach those who have malicious intent. You have your own epic journey, So anyway, what's your message here? I hope that man in your life realizes how lucky it is to have you, to guide him through his fears. What man? The man? What man? Are you thinking of any man? People? The man, or the men in my life realize how lucky they are. Well, we don't realize how lucky we are until we have love in our hearts. It's only love that allows us, like you, it's only loving people who can have a real appreciation. And it can't be faked. People can say words. People, certainly sick people who aren't connected to love, they know how to feign these things. They've trained themselves how to sort of feed off of people and lure bait people because other people are insecure. Whoever's in my life. Well, thanks. Yeah, I can't be anything but myself, and I am this with everybody I know, whether they like it or not. Oh my God. So, you're so sweet. I'm growing and learning, and we're all in this together, On the highest level of consciousness, we're all one, and yet, we're living as if we're very separate. And there's a lot of terrible things going on, and they have been going on for a very long time. Very, very bad things and beautiful things. And, but what's going on now globally is very, very serious. Ultimately, we're all spirit. And when we return and leave our body, we return to that oneness. And, people that are disconnected from their hearts are now having an experience of disconnection. They most likely won't return to the oneness right away because their soul has chosen another experience. And there's no human that can, that's where the buck stops. You can't control anybody anymore. There are people that live to punish people because they're jealous of them and they want to hurt people that they're jealous of. People that are jealous aren't connected to their own love. And they're jealous of people that are, and they like to hurt people that have love and life. And and people that do that when they die, people, you know, that are harming people, we all face, you know, ultimately we return to oneness consciousness, and that oneness is here now. But here now is in that we have access to that oneness at any moment, because life is running through us all. But and you know, the veils drop. And we perceive deeper and deeper levels of separation. And it's fascinating. It's, you know, it's a choice. It's literally, that's what we have. We have a choice to experience love or hate at any moment. And there are things that are very seductive, you know, infinitely seductive to choose negativity and choose hate and choose violence and choose revenge. I know. But it's not a good look. It's just not a good look. It's not a good look. It's why magnify the pain. It's fascinating. It's so fascinating when we're hurting and we choose revenge or hate or just the littlest hateful thought, as if that's going to make us feel better about the pain that someone caused us, you know, or the pain that we had since the beginning of time, and then we're projecting it on to somebody who has nothing to do with our pain. You know, Hitler. And there's many Hitlers in the world today. And there's many that aren't so many. Many that aren't so many. There are people that want to harm the entire world right now that are literally been working on it for decades. And it is in the works as we speak. It's in motion. The most horrible things are in motion right now. Right now. You know, they have forgotten. They maybe never experienced love. It's in them. They're precious. They are loved. And they are love. But they don't believe it. And they don't want to believe it. And they'd rather harm people and control people and destroy the world so that they can own it. They think owning it and controlling everyone, they think that's their answer. Hi. Welcome. So there are just, you know, there's just tremendous hurt people who, and that's why I'm compelled, you know, I do sessions with people all day, every day, coaching about these things, and I am talking about things that right now in this live, if you rewatch it from the beginning, I really recommend it, and please share it with your friends and especially your enemies. You know, send this link to people. I'm going to try to upload it on my YouTube if I can figure out how to do it from this saved live. And, you know, please share it, and please put my sarahwestlove.com if you share it, or, you know, share it from my page. This is my Sarah West page, but my other Instagram is Sarah West Love, which is what I go by now. And And my website is sarahwestlove.com. So why I'm speaking about this is that this is about three things. Those of us who are not the tyrants, even though most of us have little tyrants in us, and we suppress and oppress and ourselves, firstly, and other people in little ways, especially men. And women have their own little dance, and women have our own way of perpetuating that patriarchy by permitting it, because we have been conditioned to be the victim and to suppress ourselves and sort of get power by being disempowered. It's not conscious, it's all unconscious. And we're trained, we're trained to be the servant. And men who are tyrannical abusers in small and large ways are also trained to be the abusers, because it makes the system of oppressors, it doesn't want anybody to be free, it doesn't want anybody to be actually loving, because they have no power over people who are really loving. So we're in a situation, if you don't know already, you're going to find out, unfortunately. But if you're blind, if you're only watching the television, and this is so much bigger than anything that you see on the TV, because it's not going to show you what I'm talking about. But if you're connected to your gut, your instinct, and your soul knows. But if you're living in denial, you're not going to be hearing the messages of your soul and your spirit and your heart. So it's going to take, we have to dissolve the calcifications, dissolve the brainwashing, dissolve the programming of oppression and stagnation and silence and acquiescence and the conditioning to just say yes to abuse. I'm so conditioned. Struggled with that my whole life. There are people that just love to abuse and love to condition people to accept abuse. And then they, So anyway, I hope am I getting through? Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, we have to all stand up together. There aren't sides. There's no sides. That's what they want. They want to create blacks against whites, left against right, up against down. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. Men against women, children against parents. It's just wherever division. It's the people of the con is what I call them. The con people, con men and women. They're so disconnected from love. They've so abused themselves that they think they're somebody. They think they belong. They don't. Because they'll be outed in a millisecond. They're disposable. Anybody who thinks that they have power, oh no, you're disposable. You'll be disposed of in a second. You're not. The only people that have power are people that have love. It's the only real power. It's eternal. Love is eternal. It's the only thing that lasts. It's the only thing that matters. And we're all here really to experience that. Experience the lack of love so that we can return to love. That's the dance. Oh, it's been an hour. All right, my friends, send me a DM right now. Send me a note. Love to hear from you if you want. Okay, sarahwestlove.com. Come visit. Send me in your email, my contact page, and write me a note how you like this down below. Love you. Bye.